And I also encourage them to speak.
I think that like there's definitely like, I mean, what Sykkuno did was definitely, it was immoral, it was manipulative, it was bad faith, and it was mean. It was really bad. But it was not even on this, like, I mean, there are people that do things that are illegal. And I think that, like, I mean, really, like, that's the really bad. So, like, what he did is bad behavior. It's bad faith behavior. Absolutely, 100% it is. Everybody knows that. We all know this. But these are still willing participants, and consent was never withdrawn. It was never taken advantage of. And no one was ever aggressed on in a way that they didn't consent to. And I think that's very important to keep this in mind. It's extremely important to keep that in mind.
When it rains, it pours. And right now, the first drop has hit the ground. Sykkuno and anyone else who seeks to take advantage of their position need to be held accountable. And for anyone who grew up watching him during quarantine, who looked up to him, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, ruining whatever ideal image you had of him in your head. In any case, if more victims decide to speak out, then I will most likely stream.
Why are these being called victims?
All of them.
I think that it's fair to say that they were victims. He did take advantage and lie to them and manipulate them and do all that. I think it definitely, like, he did victimize them. Absolutely. I actually think that part is fair.
Channel later on. For the time being,
I think that it is, like, I love the video. The video is great. I'll link it to you guys. And, like, I don't really want to send, I don't want to hate on the guy, right? Mugen, I think he did a great job putting this together. I do think that it's inappropriate to label him as a predator, though. I do. I think that there is, like, again, everybody always wants to assign the most extreme label to something so that they can feel like they're morally ahead of it. But I do think that predator is too much. It's too much. But that being said, everything else is like, yeah, tagging in predators and saying, yeah, that's it. And Mugen's friends with the girl. Yeah, and I get that. I understand that. That's whatever. But, like, again, I think that, like, again, like, there are two spectrums, right? So what he did is not even on the spectrum of illegal. And I think that what's legal and illegal in terms of sexual, like, relations is actually very valid. Like, for example, it's completely legal to cheat with somebody that you are, you know, it's also an adult, right? Like, it's two adults consenting. Now, if he had done something or touched someone or forced someone or, you know, like, done something that was bad or given somebody something, like, or like even something like, you know, saying that you're going to wear a condom and then not wearing a condom, like, I think that just fundamentally is, like, infinitely worse than what he did, because the difference is that consent is never withdrawn. Consent is never not given. And if consent is given, I think that it's on the spectrum of bad, but it's very, very low on that spectrum. And I think that really, I mean, there's a million things that are worse than that, right? Like, that's like rape. Yeah, sure, right? Adultery laws still exist. I know that. And adultery is not a good thing. And what he did is bad. It is. It is bad. It's definitely bad. It's for sure bad. But all of that being said, I think that it's fair to say that it's definitely, like, it's being sold as if this is, like, you know, like Diddy of Twitch or something like that. And again, like, maybe you guys aren't getting that vibe, but the way that this is framed and everything, this is like some kind of really, really bad action. Not married. Oh, right. They're not married, so there's no infidelity. But, like, I don't think that's what's happening here. I just think that this guy is obviously, he's a player. He's trying to hook up with a bunch of girls. He's basically just your stereotypical fuckboy, right? That's it. And I think that the problem is that, you know, he created an image for himself of being this innocent, you know, innocent e-boy, and he didn't do anything wrong. And, you know, like, he's shy and embarrassed and everything. But actually, he was using this to take advantage of people. Now, obviously, that's kind of bad, but I think that on the spectrum of that, it's very low, right? And so I think that we should reserve such, you know, descriptions for people that are way higher on that spectrum, right? But that's it. And easy to clap some of the girls. Yeah, and that's about it.